If you happen to buy a camper van that has a pop top, here are a few simple steps to help you open and close with ease. Now this particular van is a Roadtrek, but many of them have the same features. Let's check this out. Hi, I'm Glenn and this is Reset Your Journey. Now let's walk through this quickly. The first step is to have the ladder ready, because unless you are over 6'5", pushing this to the very top to get it to open is very difficult. Now this particular Roadtrek did not come with a way to carry this ladder, so I did assemble some drawer pulls attached to the upper cabinets to make life easier for transport. So these lashings hold this up when we're in motion, and then when we get them down, it's a little more difficult than I'd like. And my suggestion, if you decide to do this, is to use some of the bindings that they use for skis to hold them together, to hold this on top, because I've read and I've seen that that works very well. We've got our ladder in place. The next step, but before I go on to that next step, I'm going to suggest that you leave the side door or a window open in the van, because the vacuum that occurs as you raise this up, you can feel the difference. But when this door is open or a window's open, it goes up very smoothly. The first step now, this latch. We release the tension by turning it and dropping it. And then next, we've got one of these security holds on both sides. Release tension, unclip. Same thing on this side, release tension, unclip, and drop. Now here comes the fun part. So this is what I meant, it's very difficult to push this up. Yes, it's on hydraulics, but if you start off on the ladder and you use your legs to push this up instead of your upper body, it works really well. So basically you're going to climb the ladder, and instead of using your upper body to push this up, you take steps up the ladder as you very carefully press, and then it'll start to take it on its own, and you just let it go up smooth and easy. So when your adventures are over and it's time to pack up and bring the top down, there are a few steps and ways to make this easier. First of all, we mentioned the ladder in the beginning. Let's go back and use that ladder again, because you're not going to be able to reach these handles. So initially, you climb up and you start pulling down, but you don't pull all the way down, because all the sides need to be pulled in. So they've got these little handles on them. And as you come down, a little bit at a time, you keep pulling in. Now, why do we do that? Because if you don't, the fabric ends up outside of the seals, and then it looks like toilet paper sticking off your shoe as you ride down the road. And it's closed. Now that you have this part done, you go through and you tuck everything in. I'd like to suggest also that before you strap this down, you take a walk around the outside of the rig to see if you have any fabric sticking out of the seals. And yes, it's common. Sometimes when you drop the top, it doesn't line up perfectly. So the trick here is to get back on the ladder and then just sort of work it back over. I like to use a foot on the front seat and a foot on the first rung of the ladder. And then the next step is to lock into place, twist, and fold down. Now once you have it aligned and you've got the safety latch connected and bound, then you come over, release a little tension here, click these into place, and pull. Repeat the same process on the opposite side. All right, now these are annoying, so push them back, tuck everything in, and this tray, particularly for Roadtreks that's available up here, will actually fit the pillow for the person in this bed, so you can store your pillow underneath of here and it fits fine. And the last step, of course, is to remove the ladder. We travel frequently in this van, so that means this pop top goes up and down a lot, and there are a few things that I've gathered along the way that might help out. Make sure before you close the top that all the windows inside are closed. Secondly, if you have time, let it air out on the outside so moisture and condensation don't build up and you leave it closed wet. So if you have to close this wet, when you arrive at your next destination, obviously open it back up and let it dry. Now, this is not van camping. This is like tent camping up top. It's very loud, it's not insulated, so be prepared and don't expect it to be like a van. This is not specific to the pop top, but if you do have a skylight or a vent up here, it makes a lot of noise without inserting one of these. Forget the insulation, use this for noise deadening while you're driving down the road. And lastly, about this skylight, this likes to come open during drives. Now, because it opens up backwards, it doesn't cause a problem, but it's also something that I'm kind of uncomfortable having that open. So you can make sure every time you get to a stop that you push this latch up. Sometimes this button gets pushed in during drive days, and all you have to do is push that up and make sure that's fully retracted. So if you just bought one of these or you're in the market for one of these, don't let the pop top scare you. It's easier than you think. With these simple steps, you'll have it up and down with no problem. I'm Glenn, this is Reset Your Journey. I'll see you in the next one.